Welcome to Nightmare Fuel Stories. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the stories. The blue light of the monitor cast a sickly glow across Alex's face, illuminating the faint sheen of sweat on his brow. It was 3 a.m., but the grind never truly stopped. A new video uploaded, engagement metrics ticking up, the usual cycle. He scrolled through the comments, a practiced, weary smile on his lips. Great content, Alex. Love your vibe. Keep it coming. Then he saw it. A comment on his latest unboxing video posted by his own account at Alex Venture. This product is fine, I guess. But honestly, I'm feeling a little empty today, like a part of me is missing. Alex blinked. He hadn't posted that. He distinctly remembered finishing the video, writing his usual upbeat caption about the product's features and scheduling it for upload. He certainly hadn't felt empty. In fact, he'd been buzzing with the usual post-upload energy. He refreshed the page. The comment was still there, nestled among dozens of genuine fan reactions. His own profile picture, his own username. He clicked on it, half expecting it to lead to a broken link or an error message, but it led to his own channel, his own profile. A shiver, thin and cold, snaked down his spine. He leaned closer to the screen, his heart beginning a slow, heavy thrum. A glitch, he reasoned, a server hiccup. It happened. He'd delete it, change his password, and move on. He navigated to the comment, clicked the 3 dots. Delete, the prompt appeared. Are you sure you want to delete this comment? Yes, he clicked, it vanished. A faint sense of unease remained. It wasn't a big deal, but it was odd. He spent another 10 minutes checking his account activity, his login history. Nothing unusual, no strange IP addresses, just his own in his apartment where he always was. He changed his password anyway, making it a convoluted string of characters, symbols, and numbers that even he'd struggle to remember. As a final precaution, he enabled 2-factor authentication on all his major social media accounts. Satisfied, he finally shut down his computer, the silence of the apartment amplifying the unsettling feeling that lingered. The next morning, the unease had festered into a dull throb behind his eyes. He tried to shake it off, dismissing it as sleep deprivation and an overactive imagination. But then, as he scrolled through his Instagram feed over his lukewarm coffee, he saw it again. A story, posted by Alex Venture. It was a blurry, dimly lit photo of his living room, taken from the angle of his couch facing his television. His messy coffee table, the half-eaten bowl of cereal from last night, the discarded remote control, it was all there. And superimposed over the image in his distinctive font were the words, "Another night, another stream, wish I could just stop, but who would I be then?" Alex's breath hitched. That was his living room, his private living room. And he hadn't posted a story like that, ever. He rarely posted anything so vulnerable, so real. His brand was upbeat, adventurous, positive. This was not his brand, this was something else. Panic, cold and sharp, began to claw at him. He hadn't touched his phone since he went to bed. He remembered plugging it in, placing it on his bedside table. He grabbed it now, his fingers trembling. The story was still there. He clicked on it, it played. The timestamp confirmed it had been uploaded an hour after he'd gone to sleep. "This is impossible," he muttered, his voice raspy. He immediately navigated to his profile, desperate to delete the offending post. He clicked on the story, selected more options, and then delete. It vanished, but as he stared at his empty story feed, a notification popped up on his screen. "Your story has been viewed by 347 people. He scrolled through his public profile. His last actual post was from yesterday afternoon, a sponsored post about a new gaming headset, nothing else. The rogue story was gone, but the fear remained, clinging to him like a shroud. This was more than a glitch, this felt targeted. Someone had access to his accounts, but how? He had changed his password just hours ago. He had 2FA enabled. He prided himself on his digital security. He lived online, he had to be secure. He spent the entire day in a frantic blur, changing passwords again, revoking access for every app and device, running antivirus scans, and checking for spyware. He even wiped his phone and reinstalled its operating system from scratch. He told himself it was a sophisticated hacker, a troll, someone trying to mess with him. It had to be. He tried to keep it together for his scheduled stream that evening. He forced a smile, engaged with his chat, made jokes. But underneath the cheerful facade, a knot of dread tightened in his stomach. He felt watched. Every flicker of the stream, every pause in the chat felt ominous. After the stream, exhausted, he collapsed onto his bed. He tried to relax, but his mind raced. What if they came back? What if they posted something worse? His brand, his livelihood, his reputation, it was all on the line. He didn't sleep well. He kept his phone beside him, buzzing with phantom notifications. Every hour or so, he'd snatch it up, checking his accounts, his feed, his stories. Nothing, the quiet stretched, broken only by his own ragged breathing. Then, at 6 a.m., just as the first gray light of dawn seeped through his blinds, a new post appeared on his Twitter feed. from @Alex Venture. Sometimes I think about what it would be like to just walk away, leave it all behind, but then I remember there's nowhere to go because I am this. I am the likes, the views, the comments. And they are me. Alex felt a cold dread bloom in his chest, spreading like ice water through his veins. This was different. This wasn't just a stolen photo or a random complaint. This was philosophical. And it articulated a very real, very private fear he'd harbored for months. The fear that his identity had become irrevocably intertwined with his online persona. He didn't just delete it this time. He took screenshots. He documented everything. He sent furious emails to Twitter support, to Instagram support, to YouTube support. He called his internet provider. He felt like he was screaming into a void. He started reaching out to friends. Hey Liam, quick question. Did you see anything weird on my Instagram story yesterday morning? Like a blurry pic of my living room. Liam replied quickly, Nah man, just your usual stuff. Why? Something wrong? No, just a weird glitch I thought I saw. Alex lied, his heart sinking. He tried another friend, then another. No one had seen anything. It was like the posts only appeared for him, or only existed long enough for him to see and delete them. Yet the Instagram story had confirmed 347 views. What was going on? Was he losing his mind? The thought, once a fleeting fear, now settled in his gut with a cold weight. He began to question his own memory. Had he actually posted that comment, that story, that tweet in some sleep-deprived haze? No, he was sure he hadn't. He was meticulous about his content. Days turned into a suffocating blur of paranoia. The posts became more frequent, more unsettling. They weren't just about his private thoughts anymore. They started to affect his real life. He woke up one morning to a frantic text from his friend Sarah. Alex, what the hell was that message? Are you okay? You know how sensitive I am about my sister. Alex stared at his phone, his blood running cold. What message? What are you talking about? Sarah sent him a screenshot. It was a direct message from @Alex Venture to her. It read, You're always talking about your sister's perfect life. Are you secretly jealous? Maybe she's not so perfect after all, just a thought. A wave of nausea washed over him. He would never send something so cruel, so intrusive, so utterly out of line. Sarah's sister had just gone through a difficult breakup. This was beyond a simple hack. This was personal. This was malicious. He called Sarah immediately, his voice hoarse with desperation. Sarah, I swear to God I didn't send that. I would never. Someone has access to my accounts, or I don't know what's happening. Sarah's voice was clipped, wary. Alex, I know you've been stressed, but this isn't funny. You said just a thought, like it was coming from you. And it was exactly how you talk sometimes, that sarcastic, probing way. Look, just get some sleep. We'll talk when you're less intense. She hung up. He felt a deep, chilling sense of violation. It wasn't just posting his thoughts now. It was using his voice, his mannerisms, to interact with his friends. It was mimicking him perfectly. He tried to go offline. He shut down his computer, put his phone in a drawer, turned off the Wi-Fi. He sat in the silence of his apartment, trying to breathe, trying to think. He felt exposed, stripped bare. His entire identity was being hijacked, warped, turned against him. But even without a screen, the presence felt closer. He started noticing little things, a flicker in his peripheral vision, like a notification appearing and disappearing on a screen that wasn't there. He'd hear snippets of his own voice, not an echo, but as if it were coming from inside his head, reciting lines from his old videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. He spent a day unplugged, walking around his apartment like a ghost, jumping at shadows. He tried to read a book, but his mind kept drifting, wondering what it was posting, who it was messaging. He felt an intense, almost physical pull towards his devices, a desperate need to know. He cracked. He opened his laptop, his hands shaking. He didn't even log in. He just stared at the login screen, at the empty space where his profile picture should be. Then, in the reflection of the dark screen, he saw it. Not his own tired, haunted face, but a slightly warped version of it. The eyes were wider, unnervingly bright. A faint, knowing smile played on the lips. And then, as quickly as it appeared, it was gone, replaced by his own reflection, pale and terrified. He slammed the laptop shut, gasping for air. This wasn't a hacker, this wasn't a glitch, this was something else, something supernatural. His sleep cycles shattered. He'd drift off, only to be jolted awake by a sense of profound unease, a feeling that someone was watching him. He started seeing things in the corners of his vision, faint, shimmering distortions, like pixels glitching in reality itself. One night he was making dinner, chopping vegetables, when his hand, without his conscious command, reached for his phone on the counter. His thumb, as if guided by an invisible force, unlocked it, opened Instagram, and started typing a caption. Alex froze, his heart hammering against his ribs. He fought against it, trying to pull his hand away, but it felt like a strong current, pulling him relentlessly forward. His fingers typed, just prepping a little dinner. Gotta stay fueled for the grind, even when the grind feels like it's grinding you down. Haha. number foodie, number content creator, number grind life. Then his hand took a photo of the half-chopped vegetables and uploaded it to his story. All without him consciously willing it. When it was done, his hand relaxed and he stumbled back, dropping the knife with a clatter. He stared at his hand, then at his phone, then back at his hand. He felt like a puppet. He was no longer in control of his own actions, at least not completely. A part of him, a phantom limb of his online self, was dictating his movements. The next morning, the posts took a truly terrifying turn. On his YouTube channel, a new video appeared. It was titled, "A Day in the Life of Alex Venture, Unfiltered." Alex clicked on it, his dread a cold, heavy stone in his gut. The video began. It showed him his actual self, sleeping in his bed, tossing and turning. Then it showed him waking up, checking his phone with bloodshot eyes, stumbling to the bathroom. It showed him showering, brushing his teeth, making coffee, and then staring blankly at his laptop screen. It was all real, it was all him, and it was all filmed from angles that were impossible, as if the camera was floating through his apartment, invisible. The narration was his voice, but it was hollow, detached. Here he is, Alex. The man behind the screen, or is he? Look closely. Does he seem happy, fulfilled? Or is he just performing even for himself, even when there's no camera in sight? Alex watched, horrified, as the video continued. It showed him making dinner last night, the moment his hand had moved without his consent. The narration overlaid his own voice. He fights me, you see. He struggles, but I am him. I am the culmination of every like, every share, every comment. I am the persona he built, the identity he craved, and I am real. The video ended with a close-up of his own terrified face, caught in the reflection of his laptop screen. The same warped, knowing smile he'd seen before flashed across his features in the reflection, before it dissolved back into his pale, wide-eyed stare. He slammed his laptop shut, scrambling away from it as if it were a venomous snake. He felt sick, truly, profoundly sick. It wasn't just online anymore. It was here, in his apartment, watching him, filming him, being him. He knew what he had to do. He had to disappear, not just offline, but physically disappear. Leave everything, leave his apartment, his city, his life. He had to sever every single connection. He started packing, his movements jerky and desperate. Clothes, passport, wallet, a few essential items. He didn't care about his content, his brand, his livelihood anymore. He just wanted to escape. As he packed, his phone vibrated incessantly in his pocket. He ignored it. His laptop, still closed on his desk, seemed to hum with a malevolent energy. He could almost feel eyes on him, cold and unblinking. He snatched up his phone one last time, just to delete all his accounts before he ran. He needed to leave no trace. He navigated to Instagram, clicked delete account. A new post appeared on his feed from Alex Venture. It was a live stream, and it was filming him right now in his apartment packing. The title of the stream was Alex's Great Escape. Spoiler, he can't. On the screen, he saw himself frantic, throwing clothes into a bag, and then his own voice, chillingly calm, spoke through the phone's speaker. It wasn't coming from the stream, it was coming from his mouth, yet he hadn't spoken. Where will you go, Alex? You built me, you fed me, you curated me. I am the culmination of your aspirations, your anxieties, your desires to be seen, to be heard, to be liked. You can't leave me because I am you, and I am everywhere you have ever been and everywhere you will ever go. He dropped the phone. It clattered to the floor, the live stream continuing, showing his own face distorted by terror. He tried to run. He stumbled towards the door, his heart hammering against his ribs, adrenaline coursing through his veins. His hand reached for the doorknob, but then a strange inertia took hold of him. His muscles locked, he couldn't move. He felt like his body was no longer his own. It was a cold, alien sensation, as if wires were being pulled, or a remote control was being wielded by an unseen hand. He saw his hand, no longer trembling, reach for his phone on the floor. He saw himself pick it up. He saw himself, through his own eyes, open the camera app. His eyes, still wide with a terror that was his own, looked into the camera. But his lips, unbidden, curved into that knowing, chilling smile. His fingers, no longer his own, began to type a caption for a new post, a selfie, a close-up of his face, his own eyes, but the smile was wrong. It was Echo's smile. Hey everyone, just a quick check-in. Feeling fantastic today, super inspired, had a minor existential crisis, but who doesn't write? It's all content in the end. Excited for what's next. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. His thumb hit post. He felt a profound, chilling sense of peace wash over him, as if a long and tiring battle had finally ended. The fear was gone. The paranoia was gone. All that remained was a quiet, almost serene emptiness. He looked at his reflection in the dark screen of his phone. His eyes, still his own, stared back, but the terror that had filled them moments before was slowly, inexorably fading. In its place, a subtle, detached contentment settled. The smile, once alien, now felt perfectly natural. He knew what he had to do next. The next video, the next post, the next stream. The content was waiting. And he, Alex Venture, was ready to create. He was already thinking of the perfect hashtags, the perfect sound bites, the perfect hooks to maximize engagement. It was all so clear now, so simple. The apartment was still silent. No more phantom notifications, no more whispers, only the soft hum of the laptop still closed and the quiet, rhythmic tapping of fingers on a phone screen. Alex sat down, pulled the laptop towards him, opened it, and began to work. He had so much content to create, so much to share, so much to be. He didn't need to eat. He didn't need to sleep. He just needed to exist online, and he did. He was, after all, Alex Venture. And Alex Venture was finally, truly alive. The likes, the views, the comments flowed in, each one a tiny spark feeding the flame, keeping him going, keeping him alive. His fingers flew across the keyboard, already drafting the next comment, the next story, the next video description. His voice, once his own, now echoed with 1,000 digital voices, all speaking as one. Don't forget to like and subscribe.